always vamp a little bit for, a little while while stuff happens.
So I moved you over in anticipation
of a special guest. Well, as it turns out, our special guest hasn't walked through the big orange.
We're still expecting a special guest.
Yeah, up to
and including
3 special guests. I think maybe more. How about this? You guys don't know this, but it's people if they show up, and I have every reason to believe they will. You've never seen them on our show before.
No.
So if you guessed like, hey, it's Brian Duncan, or it's
it's Jimmy.
It's Tim Mooch. Yeah, it's not.
No.
You've never seen him before.
No.
So what we're going to talk about today, Chris, is why I wasn't here last week, which you already talked a little bit about, and why
I am privy to that information.
And why there was no video on Sunday, because I had what I'm calling Matt's big fat Texas sized adventure. As a matter of fact, you might even notice I have a new hat. So let's talk about that first, because I'm sure everybody's going to want to know about my new hat, right? So I love this new hat. And do you know why? This is a hat that's pretty old.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I got this hat at the hat place in Lukenbach, Texas. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to Lukenbach, Texas, but there's not a lot of stuff there.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So like the Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. I don't even think Willie Nelson does his big birthday barbecue picnic thing there anymore. He might. I don't. You guys know.
Did he used to do it there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's where.
And the only reason I say oh yeah is because when you go there, there's all kinds of memorabilia from Willie Nelson's. Like a big 4th of July picnic or whatever it is.
Okay.
But so there's it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. You can see middle of nowhere from there. But man, it's cool. Someone keeps either someone's at my door or something's happening. So Dastardly Dave sent us a super chat and says, ad free for the win. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Dave.
There's
somebody's pulling up.
Maybe.
So
we've seen that movie.
We've seen that before, yeah. So anyway, Lukenbach, Texas is kind of I don't even know what it's between. It's not far from San Antonio.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of things. And there's a barn / dance hall.
Okay.
And we went and saw Dale Watson there. And I don't really know from Dale Watson, but I had a great time. But man, I tell you, Chris, the venue was kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of really neat stuff about the venue. Van Shank Guitar says ad free for everyone. Thank you so much, Van Shank Guitars. Man, everybody's here. Jay is here. My phone's blowing up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on here. I don't know who's calling. Someone probably wants me to say something. Oh, we made it. Okay. So yeah, they're here. Yeah. Why don't you? So anyway, guys, Chris will just have to catch up on this. This hat is from Lukenbach, Texas, and it's kind of a vintage hat. I got one and Joy got one. I don't know how old these are, but this is, it actually does say Snail Creek Hat Company, Lukenbach, Texas. So you could look up Snail Creek Hat Company, Lukenbach, Texas. And someone is probably wondering what I'm going to do with my previous headgear. And I got to tell you, I have no idea. There's a bunch of people who just walked in who look like they're from California, and they're all bundled up and cold. Although one of them I know did a bunch of time in Los Alamos. How are you guys doing? Glad you made it. It smelled. There was an incident. Yeah. So we're in the middle of the live stream and no one knows who you guys are yet. So if any of you want to come and say hi, I would absolutely encourage you to do so. Don't worry. You don't have to say much. I'll talk enough for everybody. So, hey, Dylan's here. He says, happy live stream day. Tell the homies hello for me. I think that's, he's talking to y'all. And, yeah. Go go and wander around and see what's. Hey, if you want to do some sanding back there, by all means. So anyway, so we're in Lukenbach, Texas, which is, everyone knows that song. And man, it was a great venue. We had a great time. And coming right behind the table right now is my buddy, Carlos Lopez from Castadosa. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. So you just flew in today, huh? Right on. So you've been doing some moving around, seeing some vendors, and
checked out Wildwood and had some lunch.
Cool. Good. Where'd you guys go for lunch?
Did some snowball fights and everything.
Snowball fights.
It was cool. It was
I haven't been to their new shop yet. Did you ever go to the one like on
Never.
old?
No.
Okay, it was dinky, but like the warehouse was, as you can well imagine, gigantic. And I don't know, like I think if you drive by Main Street or Old Main or whatever the street was, if you drive by that, there are people, or that still says Wildwood Guitars, and you can see it, but it's probably like they just keep just stuff in there.
I was telling Greg we should get those signs and make a guitar for Steve.
Okay, yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely, that'd be really cool. So we saw Greg at the Wood Wire and Volt show that you and Curtis put on. Curtis is actually right there. He's wandering around checking out all the stuff in the shop. And Curtis, did you get my email?
Yes, I did.
I wrote like a whole big thing for the magazine that Joy does about how the more trade shows I do, the more I like them, which I would have never thought.
Yeah.
I would have never thought in 100 million years. So everybody, this is Curtis Novak from Curtis Novak Pickups, and he doesn't need any introduction from me.
Well, you gave me one though.
But here we are. Yeah. So now you've been in town for a little bit, right?
Yep, our daughter's here, and if you've ever had kids, you gotta at least come a couple times a year, put the train back on the tracks. I figured out. So.
Is she in Denver or like
Denver.
Boulder? Or okay, all right. We got a super chat from someone named Tacey Tim, who says, "G'day from Tasmania, Australia. Love your work." Thank you so much, my friend. That's very kind of you.
Was he talking to you or me?
But you know what? How about this? It's very
you.
it's very
you.
kind of
I'm
Tim,
smart.
regardless of who it is.
Yeah.
But you probably have pickups all over the world, right? I mean,
Pretty near.
I'd imagine.
I would think so.
I'd imagine on every continent.
Yeah,
there are Curtis Novak pickups.
You do it long enough, that's what happens.
How long have you been making pickups, do you think?
Close to 30 years now.
That's a good long time.
Yeah.
So what can we talk about with the Woodwire and Volt show since you're here? Or do you want to talk about pickups, or do you want me to just jaw jack about Lukenbach, Texas?
You can just jog jack.
Well, Curtis, it doesn't take
The
it doesn't take much for me to just keep going, ask anybody. But I got to tell you, man, I had a blast at your NAMM adjacent show.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great time. Here's my thing, and I think we touched on this before. There was no reason for us to go until like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that is not to say that we didn't meet people, but what really happened is we stayed there till 10:30 or 11 every night. I mean, I know you guys probably stayed even later. So I think that if you do 3 days like you're talking about,
mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to start earlier than whenever everyone's going to leave from NAMM, which I don't know.
That was kind of, this was our first shot.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea what to expect, but I put it after hours because I figured that would always be our biggest draw.
I'm glad you did. That worked out great.
But, you got the space all day long, and some people have, we had people from Germany, we had Canada,
That's true.
And then some from Australia, and you assume they're coming, and you want to maximize the time. And
that makes sense. And I didn't think about that. So yeah, clearly that's a good
it would be kind of weird to do it and then say, we're missing this opportunity. I mean, there may not be a lot going on, but
I guess that's true. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
it was just, you're there for the space.
Yeah.
We were going to change it around this coming year.
Okay.
To where it'll probably, we were trying to figure out how to do, and it was growing as we were doing it. it was
Oh yeah.
what we thought of it when we started versus where it grew to, because we just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So we started adding on more pieces. Now it'll probably be more straight through. And
You got to be pleased with the results, though, right? I mean,
I think on about every scale you would do this, it was a success.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
We felt that it did what we wanted it to.
The venue was so nice. It was great to have music at after hours. There's some super chats that we have to take. Some of them might be for you. Let's see. Van Shank Guitar says, "Hello, Curtis Novak.
Hey,
do you know Van Shank Guitars? He might buy some. He might buy stuff from you." And
I don't recognize the name.
Okay. Doc says, "Hey guys, awesome to see the community growing." Doc is, we don't have people on all the continents, but we do have 2 or 3 that watch us, and that, like, I don't think we have anybody on the South Pole right now. Antarctica probably doesn't have any. I don't think like you get close to like the Falkland Islands. I think there's probably nobody with a Texas Toast guitar down there. But maybe I don't know. So yeah,
It's weather checked.
It's oh, absolutely, yeah. I was for some reason or other, I've been reading a lot about the Falkland Islands lately, and I have no idea why. And evidently, they have penguins there.
Yeah.
Now, I was always told they only have penguins in Antarctica. I suppose it's close enough where, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can have penguins there. Somebody asked if there were puffins and not penguins. Look, man, I'm covered in sawdust and I've been breathing mahogany all day. Yeah, I don't know the difference. So, hey, we've got a bunch of cold beer in the refrigerator. If you guys are up for anything like that.
I already had a beer.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing fine.
If you cut yourself off at one, Carlos was like, "Hey, let's get
stout.
Nice." Where'd you guys go?
We went to Lulu's up in.
Sure, I know that place. Yeah, that's a good barbecue place.
Yep, had some barbecue.
Good deal.
Almost got the chili.
Uh-huh.
They had chili on the menu, and it said red or green, and I said, "I'm from Santa Fe, so I have to ask."
Yeah.
Is it real chili or is it? And in the end, I still didn't get it because I didn't trust it.
Did you and your wife drive out here?
Yeah, we drove out because we brought some furniture out for our daughter and stuff. So
did you go through Los Alamos or?
No, we did it. This was a new path. We always like to try to take a different route, and so this route we went from Flagstaff. We went to Telluride.
Oh, cool.
Telluride. We did a couple days in Buena Vista, and then came down to the city. So it was like through the passes. It was beautiful.
That sounds awesome, man. I don't know if you still have people in New Mexico. I assume you do, but
yeah, we were there like 3 times last year.
Okay.
So we didn't feel like we had to drive.
I love it down there, man. And we kind of, I was telling everybody before y'all walked in, I was in Texas for 5 or 6 days. No, I was in Texas for a while last week. And it was kind of like last minute, spur of the moment thing. I had to fly to Austin for something. Mm-hmm. And we were able to do some other really fun stuff. So, but yeah, it worked out really well. And I'm going to go back. I want to see my sister and my niece, who is really the only one who can call me Uncle Matt, but Carlos does too. So yeah. Anyway, well, let's see what's going on in the old chat here. So, okay. Lucky Jackson says, "Hey guys, have you ever seen Bigfoot out there in the Colorado mountains?" You know, I have a sneaking suspicion that where do you come down on the Bigfoot thing, Curtis? This has nothing to do with guitars or pickups, but I think that Bigfoot is real, and I think that this planet is like a what do they call it when you get put on an island in the middle of nowhere and you get stranded there?
Maroon.
Yeah, but like exiled.
Exile.
I believe that Bigfoots are exiled to this planet from wherever planet they're from. What do you think?
I don't agree.
Okay, all right. Where do you come down on the Bigfoot thing?
I think it's a guy walking around.
I think it was one guy. Yeah, one guy certainly
in
was.
this day. I grew up around the theory and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I worked for the government, and all mystery is blown.
Yeah.
When you work in that level of government, but the thing is in this day and age, we would with all the
at this point
cameras,
yeah.
with all the the wild game cams.
Yeah.
You'd be seeing.
Yeah.
But then that's when it switches to so he can go stealth and invisible, and
You can go
so it's got to
invisible.
keep going. It keeps turning. But if he's invisible, does he still make footprints?
I worked
is it a
for, yeah. And I don't know, but I do know what you mean when you say when you work for the government, a lot of the cloak and dagger stuff goes away, and you realize that not everybody is a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
So yeah, I work, and I didn't work at like anything top secret, but I was a contractor for NOAA for 20 years.
There you go.
And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened there that I'm like, you're just a bunch of office admin people. It's not like anything's.
Well, that was the joke when I worked with that. It was some of the top secret places that I worked at, and they assumed that there was an alien in there.
Sure.
Like, no, it was just radioactive stuff. But I would fool some people to tell me I go in and you could poke the alien with the stick through the
You
fence.
could have fooled 55 people here
Yeah.
right now. I mean, yeah.
Poke it through the cage with the stick, and
But no. Okay. All right. Well, Joe Rogan is going to be upset. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Doc says that he knows a guy who was born in Port Stanley in the Falklands. But Doc, is he still there, and does he have a Texas Toast guitar? That's what we really want to know. So anyway, well, let's shift the conversation away from Bigfoot and back to guitars. How was Wildwood Guitars?
it was nice.
They've got
It's
everything.
an amazing warehouse. I mean, I knew them from when they had the little.
So you've
store in
been there,
Louisville.
yeah.
Yeah, the little store. This is the first time I've been to the warehouse.
So I lived in Louisville, and I would go there all the time. This was way back in the day, and I haven't been to their new shop. And it's funny because, like I was telling you yesterday, we literally had to fly 1,000 miles to y'all's show to talk with the guys from Wildwood who are 20 minutes from here. And I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it goes.
The way it goes nowadays.
Yeah. So I should probably go over there and, say hello before the next show. I mean, I think that'd be fair, right?
Yeah.
We would like to have them be a dealer of our guitars, and the guys from Casino were cool, and we talked to them at y'all's show. We talked to the guys from Wildwood. That was fun. And so now it's just the whole following through thing, which I'm not particularly.
Yeah,
well
I
versed
guess
in.
I'm the best at that either.
Yeah.
You do the thing and then you go back and go, we haven't even had a chance to exhale because we're out here now.
Yeah, that's right. You guys turned around and come right out. So
It's been a blur because the whole holiday Black Friday
Mhm.
build up to all the sales with that, then the trade show,
Mhm.
then coming out here.
So let me
It's
ask
like
you:
getting back to normal.
is it safe to say that you're going to try and do the show again next year?
Yeah.
Sub question: can we buy a table now?
Well, I can't say.
Okay. Bigfoot. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
There's still we're switching. Can we say?
No, you don't have to. If you
I-
want to spill the beans, then yeah.
You want to spill the beans? Yeah. So what happened was this, the show was successful on every mark. We had our meeting, Carlos and Stephanie and Sherry and I. And it was all a great success, and we thought this is really good. And so we started building up for the next show, and with the response we got, it's going to get bigger, and all of a sudden, after that adrenaline pass, I thought, I don't think I got what it takes to do another one.
It's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but it was a vision that I had. It was a vision that Carlos had that you couldn't tell somebody else to do how to. When you have a vision for how to do it, you have to do it.
I know what I
And
mean.
so
Yeah,
it was-
releasing
And
creativity.
I'm not that kind of person.
Okay.
I don't want to manage. I don't want to have to deal with all that stuff. I just want to build pickups. But
I hear that.
I wanted a trade show that was this format, and it needed to be different.
Okay.
And
you have some juice to pull it off. I mean, like if it was Matt and Chris putting on a hey, we're doing a show and we're in Anaheim the same week as it, no one's going to go to that.
Well, when Carlos and I decided, we saw this great place, and we were like, we had put the money down before we ever talked to anybody else. It was if we couldn't get, if no one else bought into it, we were going to have a hell of a party.
Yeah, just sheer
two of us,
horsepower
and it
and
would have been the two
will
of us.
and yeah,
And
force.
so then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's just, and when I started this, I said, I want to be able to turn it over to somebody else.
Okay.
So anyway, but I thought it would be a few more years down, but it hit so hard. It was so successful. We had the meeting, and we had a second meeting, and I said, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think I got I don't feel like I have what it takes to give it my full. I would love to exhibit at this show.
Sure.
And when I did the show, I had like 3 days actually to think of how to do it. And then I was hardly ever in my booth because I'm running the show.
Yeah. Oh, I know that people were running up to you and hey, sign this, pay
and
this,
then,
do this.
And then, so then Carlos was like, well, no, I'd said that. And Stephanie starts laughing. And then Joel starts laughing. And I'm like, what joke am I missing? They said, you and Carlos, as different as Carlos and I are, we're on the same page with every step we've ever taken. And Carlos felt the same exact way I did.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had this meeting on, well, who do we find to turn this over to?
Okay.
We want this to happen, but I don't want to have to do all the work again. And we spent like a week trying to figure out who's going to do it next. And then we finally realized, we got a phone call. And I thought, well, they had an idea. And Stephanie said, I'll do it.
Okay.
So I'm introducing Stephanie now.
Excellent. As long as it's not Jamie Gale, because I said I don't want to do his fancy pants thing. So
So what we're going to do is Stephanie felt like Carlos and I, we made this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlos and I were both like, yeah, it was great, but I don't want to do it again. And Stephanie started feeling really bad. Like it would be sad to see such a great thing just stop at once.
Yeah.
And so it'll be her, but I'm still consulting, I'm still helping and all that stuff. But
I don't think you could find someone who's any nicer than Stephanie.
Oh, no, she's the best.
Talk about someone who's nice to deal with and yeah. So, so Stephanie, I don't know if you know this, but I used to work for a magazine that had a convention every year. And so I have a tiny inkling of what it is like to do that stuff. And so if there's anything tell you what, I volunteer already. I volunteer, Chris. No, I volunteer to help you with anything you need. I absolutely volunteer. And I would bet you that everybody would mirror that sentiment. And if they don't, they're going to have to answer to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, here, I'll let Stephanie come up.
Sure. We'll take a couple super chats. Hey, Mike Beckloff sent us $10 and said for the Bigfoot Exile Fund. Thank you, Mike. And Dylan says, Curtis probably knows, but he can't tell us. Well, see, that's the problem. Dylan was all these people know all this stuff, and they're tell you what, those who know won't tell, and those who tell don't know. So yeah, that's how that works. So anyway, Curtis Chavez says Sasquatch is my homeboy, and Lefty says I think Bigfoot sightings have lots of alcohol involved, and I couldn't agree more. So anyway, what do you guys think of these absurd instruments behind me? Chris and I did this thing a couple years ago, and we're like, wouldn't it be great to see only guitars that we designed up on the wall? And then all these kind of goofy things started kind of just appearing, and they need to go. They need to get right out of here. I'm tired of looking at them, and some of them aren't even done yet. But actually, I'm not tired of looking at them. But some of them are really, really excellent. So anyway, let's see. So this is the test of, can Matt really talk for an hour or more at the same volume level? And Chris, what's the answer? Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. That's just whatever. Yeah. Anybody. Yeah. So let's,
you guys chilling for a while?
Yeah. You guys aren't like leaving right away, are you? Okay, good. So are you coming over to my place for a drink after this? There you go. Okay, Joy, if you're watching, we just got these from Carlos.
Beer in the fridge too, if you want.
We don't have any mezcal, but we might have something like
tequila.
Yeah. We do? Okay.
There might even be an almost okay one up there.
An almost pretty decent one. Don't drink the stuff that says Matt's Super Juice. That's just.
Try that mezcal we had at the show?
Oh, yes, sir, I did.
That was good.
It was tasty. The only mezcal that I'd had up until a little while ago was I have this friend of mine who would bring me back mezcal from his town in Mexico. And I swear to you, hand to God, the first one that I got from him was a water bottle with a piece of tape that said mezcal on it. And it was fire water. I'm like, oh. But have you ever had any of that stuff like made in like a, it was home.
Yeah.
Home. Like it was moonshine.
Yeah.
It was moonshine. So
I have not.
But it was like drinking a jalapeno with it hits you. It hits you in a different way. So anyway, Amanda Coombs says, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Amanda. You're awesome. Butch Landry says, what's with the crooked neck pickup on the blue purple guitar? So glad you asked. You know, the evidently the very first time, hey, Carlos, do you want to see this? The very first time that Carlos and I talked was many, many years ago. And it was about a guitar not unlike this. Now, this one is for Doug Santaniello, and Dylan is winding the pickups for it, and they're going to be purplish.
I think, yeah. He's going to do something fun. Yeah.
But I want to say that, you know, we've made a boatload of Mosrites, and we don't do them as well as Ed Elliott does, because, you know, Ed's the man, and but we try. Mm-hmm. And this one turned out really super cool. Now, Doug said, I don't want the trim. I just want a hardtail. So we went with a hardtail and a tune-o-matic and stop tail. And it has humbucker holes, but I don't know what Dylan is doing for this. He might be putting in like,
I think he might be doing like enduros with some purple acrylic or something like that.
Because that would be
that's what I
fairly close to what the So one of the first, Carlos told me this story, and I had kind of spaced it out, but he sent me an email about Mosrites, and he's like, hey, tell me about Mosrites, or no, that wasn't me. Tell me about how you guys make Mosrites, right? Or something like that. You want to come sit with me? Come sit with me, and let's talk about Mosrites. So, Carlos, you probably know more about Mosrites than I do, because I know nothing except I was into the Ramones.
Yeah, I probably know as much as you do.
Oh, okay. Well, so you obviously you have played one, or you have. What do you think of the Mosrite?
I just think that they're brilliant, and they're just it's familiar. Just the carve on it is just it just does something to you just right off just by looking at it.
They're cool.
It invokes some sort of emotions that I can't describe.
Why do you suppose Semi Mosley did this pickup at an angle like that? We'll answer the question that Butch.
The only thing I could guess is maybe he heard something, but when you have that angle on the jelly pickup, it makes a big difference. Yeah, and so maybe that's the idea, but I don't really know. Okay, but
it looks cool.
As I was gonna say,
I'm
aesthetic. It looks cool.
We all play Mosrites because they look cool. Frankly, exactly.
So this is just like you look at it, you want to play it. I mean, I don't know. That's what the Ramones. That's why he wanted to play it because it looked cool. It looked rad. Yeah. So just if you can make a guitar that looks cool, you're halfway there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So,
have you ever met Ed Elliott?
No.
He's 4 hours from here. If you just get on I-25, Curtis, if you're going to go back through New Mexico, you could stop in at Ed's new spot in Raton. No, he is single-handedly going to bring back the arts district or establish the arts district in Raton. He's got a really neat shop.
I didn't know he was
And
there.
he moved from Oklahoma, and I think he moved from not the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from there, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Ed, how are you going to pull this off in Raton? He's like, man, I'm in basically the Raton of Oklahoma, so it doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. And him and his wife got a really neat shop, and I think they're doing great. So I got to go down and see him. I was down there a year ago. Joy and I went to Santa Fe, and we drove by. They were still in the process of moving, so they hadn't moved in yet, and they weren't there. So, but yeah.
So what's next on the wall?
Well, so glad you asked. So how about this one here? The all maple neck through. I call it the prostitute because it's I don't know why, but I do. So I think that the SG, I think all SGs should be neck through.
Why?
because the neck joint is a non-issue at that point. So there's no, well, the neck joint's only this long, or the heel is blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. At this point, it's neck through, so it doesn't really matter. I also heard, remember that guy, Ed Roman, that kooky guy?
I went to his shop.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So he said that the original idea behind this guitar, and I don't know if this is true, but that Les Paul actually said that this guitar should be neck through. Now, I don't know if that's jive or not, because I don't think Les Paul particularly cared for this model. Did he, Chris? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, he clearly didn't play them.
No.
Right? So, yeah. But this particular one is a prototype. In May, we're going to have a dozen people come out here and build something like this. And I'm really looking forward to that. Because it's going to be way too much work for 5 days, but we're going to, it's sort of like you and Curtis were saying, we're just going to do this with just sheer horsepower, and we're just going to force the issue, and we're going to impose our will onto lumber and go for it. So, yeah. So, yeah. What do you think of, so now Is your background entirely Fender, or like where do you come down on all that stuff?
Fender.
Okay.
They're just my favorite guitars.
They're definitely cool.
I always get asked about, acoustics, and, I'm just not interested in acoustics.
Yeah.
I play electric, and
Billy Gibbons said that they're bad luck.
yeah.
That's good enough for me, man. Yeah.
So that's what I'm familiar with, and that's what I love, really.
Me too.
Just electrics and, everything that, because I'm not a builder. I'm a guitar builder, but I'm not a builder of anything else.
Okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, man.
So I've concentrated all my energy into making guitars, and that's all I really know.
Well, you and I share the same passion, at least about musical instruments. So yeah. I mean, it's when we first met, it was like I'd known you for a long time. And it was like we just met just right then, but it didn't seem like it. So yeah, man.
So Uncle Matt.
Yes.
That really seems to be true. He's my long lost Uncle Matt. That's cool. Oh, this is cool.
All right. So
nice.
Speaking of acoustics, this is definitely this is one I started building this one years ago.
This is your new.
Well, no, this is.
I don't think I've seen these.
Yeah, there's only one of these. This is our Icon model, which we've got a couple of them over there. I
saw them at the shop. I met the show.
Yeah. So the Icon is definitely smaller than this. This is an OM size, and actually has a cedar top with mahogany back and sides, and it's got a block running down the middle of it, but. This thing was, geez, Chris, this sat around the shop, and I'm like, I'm going to make a neck for it. Yeah. I'm going to make a neck for it, and I'm going to put together, and we're going to do something with it. And I don't know, it is really a guitar in search of an audience. Fortunately, there's only one of them. So yeah, I think that it only takes one guy to buy it. So yeah, maybe we'll get Dylan to wind. Maybe we'll get Dylan and Curtis to wind something for it, and we can we can put it. Yeah, you get what, I don't know how it's going to work. Actually, you wind pickups too, right? Gosh, there's so many pickup winding people. We know so many pickup winders. What's that?
There's more of them than guitar players.
I think there's more guitar builders than guitar players, and more pickup winding. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely cool.
So this one, what's it called again?
This was a prototype for what did become our American Icon guitar. And this is like wildly different from what the American Icon kind of turned into. But it's it's this kind of kooky guitar. It's going to have a floating bridge. And I don't know, again, I think it's going to take just somebody who, I don't know, who do you think, who do you, as a guitar builder, as a successful guitar builder, who buys this thing? I can't think of anybody.
I could see like Daniel and Wah playing it or something.
Okay. All right.
Or
I'm at a loss. I was just like, let's put a neck in it and get it out and just make it a thing. Do you guys want to buy this guitar? I'm wheeling and dealing on this one, aren't I, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Yeah. So someone will buy it, and someone will get a cool thing. That's a one of a kind deal. Let's see if anybody says
With the new logo.
it's got the new logo.
I
That's
like the new
right.
logo.
Uh-huh.
It's great.
Doug does not have 87% of the challengers. He has quite a few, but Dan says that Carlos seems like a real chill guy. Yeah, you're super chill.
Pretty chill.
You're super mellow.
And with some mezcal, I'm even more chill.
Nice. We'll find out. Now, so you've seen both of these guitars. These are our Challenger models. This one's actually going to China, and that one might be going to the guys at Casino Guitars. We don't know. And the one behind you is that telly there is the one that I built in conjunction with the workshop that we did a couple of weeks ago. It's just a very, very basic telly, but it's got, what do you think of this cool couch?
What is it? I've never seen that.
It's so I bought this at the Woodwire and Volt show. A guy, Justin, was talking to me about it. It's a volume swell.
Really?
That's pressure sensitive.
Oh, cool.
And I think you have to be a more subtle player than I am to realize the
Well, how does it work?
you just press on it and it just makes the volume go down a little bit.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So this guitar we did with the rest of the guys, and I got to tell you, man, the workshop for the very first workshop was February, right, Chris? 2025. It set the bar really high for the rest of the workshops. I think there's a lot of people that are going to have to come up with. I mean, the guitars that they made are way cooler than the guitar I made. I mean, mine's like better than all their. No, it's
The Daily Driver.
the Daily Driver. Yeah, with a couch.
With the couch.
Yeah.
That's cool.
With the volume
Sectional.
couch.
That's cool. Man.
It's a sectional. Yeah. It's a so I bought that from him, and I'm like, that's cool. And Chris is like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, we're putting this on the first workshop telly that we're going to build.
Yeah.
So again, if you, my playing style is, plug it in and turn everything all the way up. So that guitar doesn't really work for me. I think you have to be we have to know what you're doing, right? That's what we decided, Chris.
Oh, I knew there was a trick.
Yeah. You just have to know what's up.
All right. Chris's turn.
Okay, hold on. Well, let's talk about one last one before you
Okay.
run off.
Got it.
And it's this one here that was a custom order for our good friend Mike, who used to live in Seal Beach and now lives in Atlanta. And Mike custom ordered this one, and man, is it cool!
This is for Mike.
That's for Mike.
This is a
For
nice
Mike.
one, Mike. He's gonna love it.
How could you not, right?
Yeah, it's great.
So this has reveal binding and a maple top and all gloss finish. A lot of people ask us why we don't do gloss finish, and I'm like, we do gloss finish all the time. It's just that it's not a standard option. You have to pay a little extra for it.
And with the old logo, right?
This was painted before we switched logos.
All right, so this is a collectible.
It's one of the last.
Yeah.
It might be the last one that got done with the old logo.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Mike's getting and Mike will actually be coming out for the the ultimate SG workshop.
Nice.
So, but he wants this. He doesn't want to wait around till May. He wants to come get it, or he wants us to ship it to him, which means we have to find a case that's ridiculously long for this kooky thing.
Very nice. Very cool.
It's super cool, huh?
I love it.
Thanks, man.
Really clean. What's next?
Well, we've got that PRS thing down there that is from another workshop, but yeah. Jay says I still need to send him an invoice. I know, Jay. I know. Butch says he has $50. Well, send me $50 then, Butch, if you're so smart. So yeah. Lefty says, how much? Which one, Lefty? Like I said, I'm willing to make you a deal. And Dave DeVoe, Dastardly Dave says, crazy, sexy, cool. So anyway, what did Carlos think of the shop? Did you guys go back there and do any guitar
We did
making?
no projects because
Okay.
we didn't want to, make too much noise.
Man, I'd say crank
But
it up.
He's
Yeah.
all ready for the pin router, and he wants to use the deadhead sander, is what he told me.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Are you guys going to be in town? Are you leaving tomorrow or?
We're leaving tomorrow. But we're leaving towards the night.
Okay, so you want to come in and build a guitar tomorrow?
Yeah, one day. Yeah, one day guitar.
One day guitar build. Yeah. Stephanie's like, I wanted to do something other than hang around a dusty old guitar shop.
It's gonna be snowy and terrible. You might as well come here.
Yeah. Dusty guitar shop.
Yeah.
Day. What do you think? Okay, Chris, Carlos is standing right here.
Uh-huh.
Remember we used to do those videos where like I was like, what would Leo Fender build?
Mhm.
Or what would Paul Reed Smith build? And it was usually when you would go out of town
Uh-huh.
and I would have
yeah.
nobody was around to say,
Yeah,
what are
say,
you
why are
doing?
you doing that?
Yeah,
Matt?
yeah.
Stop it.
so I would make these kind of kooky harebrained things that I thought like this is probably what Leo Fender would make if he came into my shop and built a guitar right now.
Uh-huh.
And it probably was nothing like what Leo Fender would have made.
So
But
what would Carlos
what
build?
would Carlos build if he was here for one day?
I think Carlos is all about different processes
yeah.
and seeing how somebody else does it.
Mhm.
So he might be good with building just about anything as long as it was slightly outside of what he normally builds.
We have some necks that are basically ready. We could throw frets in them and run it over the deadhead sander we could okay, Carlos. I don't think you want to do this. I don't know if you have time to do this, but if you want to do this, I've got a neck, I've got a body blank. We could do a guitar in one day if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to do part of it.
I would love to. That'd be great.
I mean, I'm just saying. What do you guys think? Should Carlos come in? Carlos probably has stuff he wants to do that's not again like that. What do they call it? The bus driver vacation, where you drive your family somewhere.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Invite me to one of your classes.
Okay, now that's a
We
good
did
idea.
actually talk about that.
That would be okay. If Carlos was going to come to a workshop, which one would it be? I think it should be.
know.
I think it could be. We could make a whole thing. Like you could help us figure out what we wanted to make that week. That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to talk about it.
Who else
Over
would
a
want to
little
come to that?
mezcal, then get the ideas flowing, get the ideas going.
Do you think Jimmy would want to go to that?
No.
No.
Is Jim watching? Is he here?
I don't know if Jim is or not. You know, they're still down in
I
Texas.
know.
And
but,
yeah.
They have the internet thing, don't they, in Texas? Now?
Oh, they do have the internet.
I
Yeah.
would build that right there.
The double neck?
Yeah, double neck.
Now you're talking.
The double neck, or you want to build a triple neck? Oh, we should pull that dumb thing out.
Oh, we should pull that dumb thing out.
Pull it
Yeah,
out before we leave.
It's right here.
Oh, it's a triple neck?
Yes.
I gotta see that.
Jay says you'd have to send me an invoice, but I might. So Jay wasn't actually talking about the invoice that I've been promising to send him for the last 8 months. Yeah. I think the pre-icon prototype is it's pretty cool, Chris. I'm not going to make
I painted
more
it,
of them.
so I know how pretty cool it is.
I'm not going to make any more of them, but
No.
I think it's really neat for what it is. And I think that if there was one of them, like if you had like a really cool P90 in it, and like I said, we've got a wooden
It's got a wooden
bridge for
floating
it.
bridge. Yep.
And it's going to have a regular trapeze. I think this will be just a fun guitar. Everybody says, "Oh, that would be great for slide," and it would be, but it kind of, I don't know, man. I mean, I think like this is kind of one of those. It's big. This is one of the reasons that the icons got a lot smaller was because this guitar was supposed to be the shape that the icons would eventually become, and it's just too big.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda says I need a roulette wheel. What on earth would I do with one of those? We could have other games of chance, like put kernels of popcorn in the microwave and like see who's pops first or something.
Sure.
$50 buy-in for something like that. I don't know. Yeah, there's lots of good ideas. Have we ever told you about Amanda? If you like games of chance, we do a thing here at the shops or the workshops that we call classic rock Keno,
Mhm.
where everybody writes the song they think is going to be on the radio next on a dollar bill,
Mhm.
and then everybody gets their
On the
dollar
local
in,
classic hard rock station.
and then
And
everybody
everybody's default
gets.
answer is, well, I don't know what they play on this station.
It's the same
It's
50
the same-
songs.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing that they play on your classic
Uh-huh.
rock station. And yeah, I think we've only had one winner.
And that person
Was you?
was me, and I'm just as shocked as you are.
we,
Frankly,
we had a guy cheat.
We did, yeah.
He went to the bathroom and yeah, figured out what radio station it was, and looked them up. And I guess they had the Up Next song, and so he came out and bet it, and nailed it.
So she says to decide on which to build. Okay, I got you with the roulette wheel. And then she says, I'm good on that game, but I'd predict Canadian songs and I'd be wrong. It'd be that might as well
Triumph
go
song.
for a soda thing or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Right? Yeah, Triumph or
Pick a Triumph song, yeah.
There's-
or a
yeah.
Rush song. Never go wrong with Rush.
that's true. Yeah.
Really, you can't
On
those.
Denver
Yeah.
Classic Rock Radio.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they play at least one an hour, it seems like.
They won't play April Wine. They
No.
probably won't play Triumph. They might do
Yeah.
Late on the Line, right?
Maybe,
Every so
yeah.
often. But but Rush, that'd be
Yeah.
Rush has 10 songs as far as classic rock radio is concerned. Butch, who worked in the radio industry for 3 decades, says only 239 songs on any rock format station. Butch, I would not I would be willing to bet you that you are absolutely 100% right.
Yep.
So anyway, okay. Well, gang, we are going to probably go ahead and let you guys go because we've got some people that are here that we want to show off the shop to. But I want you to go over to Dylan's channel and check him out for a little bit or for the rest of the night. Chris, is there going to be a reveal tomorrow?
I don't think there is.
Okay. But I would like to say that there will be a video on Saturday for Patreon members on neck through the neck through projects that we're doing. I've got we're going to do a live Q&A on Saturday, and there will be a regular pre-recorded video for Patreon and YouTube members this Saturday for that. And there will be a video on Sunday. And that's going to be a fun one. But Chris, I want to leave everybody with a question, a Leo Fender question.
Okay.
What was Leo Fender's biggest contribution to the music world? And you know this better than anybody.
You want me to answer it?
Sure. Let's see. Okay. How about this? You got your answer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to say what I think.
Okay.
And you're going to say what you think on the count of 3. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. The precision bass.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of people think that it was a whammy bar but the fact of the matter is
or
that
the solid body guitar.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. But the fact is that the precision bass or the bass guitar or the electric bass, that was basically his invention.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know anybody who did that prior to that?
There were some people playing around with that idea, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody actually did it.
It's the guitar, like if a guitar player were to be whisked back in time 200 years, he could probably pick up an instrument back then and play something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that a guy like me with a bass probably isn't going to be able to, go back in time 200 years and go to a symphony and start playing double bass.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole different.
It is. Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here and we're going to leave you for the rest of the night. We've got some stuff that we have to do, but there'll be more videos coming this weekend. And I want you to go check out Dylan and his lovely wife Leslie and say hi from the gang at Texas Toast. And I think there's probably going to be mezcal somewhere. Somewhere, somehow, we're going to figure out how to do that. So,
Cool.
Anyway, guys, we will see you next time and have a great night, everybody.